Okay, let's get started. Hey horrifics, welcome back to my channel. My name is Amanda. If this is the first time here, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon so you can get a notification every single time that I post a video, and I post every single week. As you can see from the title, today's video is going to be my full review with spoilers of the 6th episode of the 2nd season of American Horror Stories Facelift. And just like the word said, yes, it's about plastic surgery. Now, as always, all my reviews are with spoilers. If you don't want them, just to see if this was worth it or not, on the description box down below, then you're going to find my spoiler-free review, because I like to give you guys the two options. So giving that little token disclaimer ahead, let's get into the video. Now, this episode follows a woman desperate to look her best does the unthinkable. Now, beauty industry and plastic surgery has been talked way too many times before in horror. Some examples are The Neon Demon and Crimes of the Future, that it's a recent horror film that takes, well, it's not precisely like the beauty industry, but body modifications and that type of stuff. And also there are some Tales from the Crypt episodes that talk about it. This one follows a woman named Virginia, who is a wealthy woman but with a debt that her now dead husband left her, meaning that she doesn't precisely has much that she appears to the rest of her neighbors. She has this mansion, she drives a Bentley, and she's living her life, but she's not able to afford having like real plastic surgery and that type of procedures. And she instead tries doing like some face creams and like detox juices, which her stepdaughter is always like, Mom, you don't need to do this. Like, she treats her like her mom, and she's like, you don't need to do this, beauty comes from the inside, getting old is part of the process, like that type of speech. But this woman, of course, is kind of obsessed with wanting to look younger. And when she's looking through the window, she sees her now divorced neighbor. And her daughter is like, do you know that he's just divorced? And also, he always likes to go to this specific store to buy wine on this specific time. Of course, Virginia goes and we have this casual encounter, but we realize that he's not alone. He has a date, and the woman is actually Virginia's old friend from college. So they are the same age, but she looks way different, and of course her face, it's way lifted. She doesn't have any signs of being old, like she doesn't look her age. So it's like Virginia is like, what is your secret? She's like, I will tell you if you stay away from him. And she's like, yeah, like she accepts the conditions, because for her it's more important looking younger than having someone else. So she goes to the doctor, and this doctor is describing her procedure almost like the recipe to Coke. And she's always bragging about how she does more than just like working on the skin, and it's more like an inside work. The procedure is discussed very lightly. They never go deep into what they're going to do. Of course, we can assume that it's a facelift. Like I said, she's on debt. She can get this procedure, but she doesn't care, so she still gets it. They never really talk about the consequences in terms of finance, more than the fact that now her daughter can go to law school because of that. But besides that, there's no more financial consequences. So she gets the work done, and also the hands, because the doctor is like, it's not going to match doing your face and not your hands. And now she has all this bandage around her hands and the face. We don't see the results until the last 10 minutes of the episode, and the episode is like 40. While the episode started like a pretty basic take on the subject of plastic surgery and the beauty industry in horror, it starts taking a different turn as it goes by, because when she's about to get the surgery, she hears the doctor and the nurses and all the people in the room, they are in a circle like holding hands and chanting something. Of course, we don't know what they're saying. And then she has the procedure, she wakes up and blah blah blah. She then goes once again to the doctor, and she's like, I can take you the bandage on this specific day. That casually is going to be the same day that she's going to have this retreat with other patients. And she's like, this is complimentary, you don't have to pay anything, just coming and get the honor of taking your bandage off in front of everyone in this retreat. And that's what she does. And this is when we see the final work. And while all of that is happening, of course, the stepdaughter is like, don't do this, don't go. Like, she's really suspicious about the doctor, and she has more than reasons. That woman is sketchy from the first moment. The daughter actually gets to the retreat. She hides on the car, and she gets there, but she's found by the security and she's taken. You don't see her until the very end when Virginia's face gets revealed and she looks like a pig. And the hands, she saw them, she's basically like sewed this finger and this so like they can look like the ones from the pigs. And then she explains that she's a sacrifice for a goddess, for beauty, and that they do that once a year. This is kind of like a hunt. Like, she gets 2 minutes of advantage. She needs to run on the woods, and if she gets to the water, she's safe and she can leave. If not, she will be killed. And when she's running through the woods, her neighbor appears. And at first she's like, oh, please help me, but he's part of it. And also the woman that was with him that gave Virginia the information of doctors, so it's not hard to click the fact that this was all made on purpose. Of course, she gets killed. Now, what about the stepdaughter? Well, something that we learned throughout the episode is that her mother died, but she was actually part of this group. And the doctor is like, you have been made for this. We have been waiting for you for so long. And I'm like, man, she's not Harry Potter. She, like, they're treating it like that. And she's like, we can make you beautiful and blah, blah, blah. So the episode basically ends with now the stepdaughter getting with a group and shown on her way to her classes. And of course, now she looks different in a way of dressing. She has no glasses, the hair, and every single member has a tattoo of a butterfly. And she drops something, she gets down, and a guy talks to her and he's like, oh, nice tattoo. And she's talking to him, like asking for directions. And then he's like, well, I can take you. And she's like, no, until she sees that he also has a tattoo. And then she's like, well, yeah, you can go with me. And they leave talking, and that's how it ends. This episode, I'm not gonna lie, was kind of boring until the end because I felt like it was like just a basic take on the beauty industry and horror. But then the twist make it a little more interesting, and I think that is what saved the episode. But still, definitely this one has been by far my least favorite. So I will give this one a 2.5 out of 5 and a 5 out of 10. Like, I don't think that is awful, but definitely has been my least favorite by now. But still, like I have always been saying in all these videos, it's way better than season 1. So that's worth it. But yeah, like for me, if the twist wasn't there, like it would have been really awful. So I am glad that the twist happened on the story. But well, I think that this is all. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you thought about this episode. Did you like it? You didn't? Have you watched all the other episodes? Have you watched season 1? What do you thought? But well, I think that this is all. Thank you so much for watching, and I'm going to see you guys on my next video. Bye.